Okay guys, so we're out here today checking the taps. I've got these on maple trees. I believe that this is a sugar maple. But today I thought I'd talk about how to tap maple trees and what the process is like. So I decided to bring you guys down here to the woods today. This one looks like it's got some pretty good sap flow right now, and it's about a third of the way full right now. So yeah, we're gonna be checking taps today, and I'm gonna be showing you guys start and finish on how to tap a maple tree. Yeah, this one's got some super good sap flow. I'll show you that right now. As you can see here, we got some really, pretty good sap flow here, and just going down into this bucket. These buckets are built for these are like specifically made to tap maple trees. These are made in Canada. I got these at my local feed supply store, but you don't have to use buckets that are specifically designed to tap trees. You can also use just buckets like this. Like this is a molasses bucket I got at my local bakery. Yeah, really anything works as long as you can put a tap in it. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna go down and check some more taps. There's actually another one just right over there, and but yeah, we're gonna be pouring all the sap that we collect today into this. I think this is a 25 kilogram, I don't know. It's a pretty big bucket. We're gonna be pouring it all into this bucket. So yeah, I guess I'll dump this one in there now, and we'll move on to the next tree. It's hard to open. Here's another tap. This tree's not doing so well. Some trees give you more sap than others. In this case, it also probably depends on like how deep you drilled your hole and all that. This one's not bad. The other tree that I just checked was giving me a little bit more, but this one's actually doing pretty good. So I think it might be around the same, but I remember we had a storm, like there was a lot of wind, and this bucket fell off. It already had some in it, so it spilled. But this one's doing pretty good too. But yeah, we're gonna dump this into the big pail and move on down the line. Okay, so here we have a maple tree. This one's pretty big, and preferably when you're tapping, you want to have it right in the vicinity of a branch. So this one has a branch right here. This tree's gonna be should be pretty good, I guess. Okay, so whenever you're drilling your hole, I've got a wireless drill. This is DeWalt. It's an impact driver, but I have but there's a chuck on it, so I can put a drill bit on. When it comes to drill bits, normally whenever you buy your taps, it'll say what drill bits you need to use for your taps, but basically you want a drill bit that's a little bit smaller than your tap. So yeah, you want to get the south facing side of the tree. That's generally going to provide more sap flow because it heats up more during the day, but really you just have to do the best you can. Yeah, we're going to drill a hole, so I'll just insert my bit in there. So whenever you're drilling your hole, you want to drill at a slight upward angle, because if you drill straight, then the sap's not going to flow out as easy, as opposed to if you're drilling on a slight upward angle, then the sap's going to flow down and out of the tree, and you're probably going to get more sap flow that way. Slight upward angle, probably about just that much, like not much. Drill in, and you're going to want to drill in about 1.5 inches. I can already see the sap flowing out, which is good. That's dripping a lot. That's a lot of sap flow. This is probably going to be a really good tree. Whenever you're putting in a tap, you want to put it in until it stops, moving, obviously. Basically whenever you hear like a thud, or it'll make a certain sound, and that's when you know that you put it in far enough. If you put it in too far, it will either damage the tree or damage your tap. So you'll be able to tell. It won't go in any farther, really. Okay, so after you have your tap inserted, you're just going to put your bucket on. I've got these buckets, which I fit already. When it comes to buckets for collecting sap, you can use like the ones that I showed you before, which are meant for collecting sap, or you can use, this is just a margarine bucket that I got from my local bakery, and yeah, this should work just as well as the other ones. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. The other ones are going to run you a little bit more expensive, but they might be, you know, best suited for making sap. But the ones that are specifically designed for collecting sap might just, you know, be a little bit more convenient, but these ones will be cheaper. I got these for $3 Canadian, so it's really not that expensive to buy buckets to collect the sap. I think the other ones were like $4 new, but yeah, really just whatever works. You might have to do a little bit more modification on the ones that aren't meant for collecting sap. Like these ones I had to cut a little bit, but it's nothing that, it only took me like 5 minutes, not even. So I'll grab my lid here, and we'll just put that on. If you have a good tree and it's a good day, right temperature, you're going to be seeing pretty constant dripping. This one's actually really pretty good. If it's on a good day, it should be like a heartbeat, like boom, boom, boom. But like days like this, it's a little bit slower, but it also depends on the tree. Some trees you're not going to get any sap at all. Some trees you're going to get a ton of sap flow. So really it depends on the tree, it depends on where you live. There's a lot of factors at play when we're talking about sap flow, but on a day like today where it's pretty warm and there's not much sun, this is really pretty good in terms of sap flow. Okay, here's another example of a really good maple tree to tap. A tap that we just put up is just right over there. But here's a nice tree. We've got a really good looking tree, very healthy looking. But really one thing, like I said, I think I may mention it before, is if you can, put your tap right underneath a limb of a tree, right underneath a branch. Like here's a giant branch. That's going to be, the sap's going to be really flowing right here. And again, this is on the south facing side. So this is a really perfect place to put a tap. Another thing I want to talk about is how to find maple trees. So there are a couple types of maple trees. The ones that I know of are like Norway maple and sugar maple. You can tell by the leaves, but the sugar maple is going to have a little bit more sugar content in its sap. So whenever you're boiling, you're not going to have to boil as much of the sap. With the Norway maple, it's going to take just a little bit longer to boil down to get the right sugar content to make a good syrup. But Norway maples work well too. But if you can, find a sugar maple. But don't quote me on this stuff. I'm not an expert when it comes to maple syrup, so I just do it. This is actually my second year doing it, but yeah, I've learned a little bit. But when you're looking at the bark of a maple tree, it's really platey. You can see that there's plates, like they're little, like just stripped plates, and that's what you're going to find on a maple tree. Young maple trees, so this is a pretty old maple tree. This one I could probably put like several taps in it. This here is a smaller maple tree. It's not that big, it doesn't have that big of a diameter on either side, but you could probably put one tap in it. Here's another different size of maple tree. This one is pretty good size, so I would definitely you could easily get one in there, probably even two. Now here's a tree that I wouldn't tap. I would not tap a tree like this. This is just a little bit too small. If you were super desperate for sap, I'm sure you could get away with putting one in there. But you do want to be a little bit careful whenever you're tapping trees, because you can damage the tree. You can even kill them. You know, because you want to be able to tap the tree next year and for years to come. So you just want to be careful. Anyway, I'm going to put another tap in here, and we'll talk a little bit more about tapping maple trees. But I'm going to put a tap in this tree first. And there we go. That's a lot of sap coming out of there. Okay, another thing I wanted to talk about that's pretty important is whenever you're tapping maple trees, you want to be tapping them when the temperature hits above 0 during the day and drops below 0 during the night. That will provide you optimal temperatures for the best sap flow. Obviously, when let's say it's like -1 or like 0 or something, you're probably most likely still going to get sap flow, because if the sun's out, it's going to be heating up the trees, so the trees are going to be above zero. So really, above zero in the day, below zero in the night, that's when you're going to be getting optimal sap flow, and that's in Celsius. Another thing I want to mention, this is probably a no-brainer, but whenever you're tapping maple trees, you don't want to tap where the tree is dead or rotten, because obviously that part of the tree is dead and sap's not going to flow there. I just wanted to mention that because maybe, I don't know, just make sure you're tapping a nice healthy part of the tree. But preferably you want a tree that looks completely healthy, and you know, this one here looks pretty healthy. That one down there looks really healthy too. And most of the trees down here look pretty good, but you just don't want to tap a rotten or dead tree. That's probably common sense, but I just wanted to let you guys know that just in case. But really, that's the process on how to collect sap from maple trees or birch trees. It's pretty simple, and it's really not that expensive. You can get the buckets for like $3. I got these ones for $3 each. The taps are pretty cheap, especially if you go for plastic ones, they're cheaper. I'll put some links in the description for Amazon pages where you can go and buy taps online. But yeah, that's really all that I wanted to talk about today. This is the first part in this maple syrup series I'm going to be doing. So probably the next video I upload is going to be how to boil down the sap and turn it into syrup. But yeah, this is just what I've been doing. It's been working pretty good, and hope you guys learned something. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and like I said before, hope you guys learned something. Thank you guys so much for watching, and comment, subscription, all that stuff I would highly appreciate. It's not mandatory, but I would appreciate it if you guys do. Anyway, enough blabbering. I'm going to go back to the house, and catch you guys later.